Back to Barbara Lately. Today we have a special guest star. She came from nothing and built an empire. She's well known for her timeless designs, trademark suits, and little black dresses. Please give it up for Miss Coco Chanel.
Hi.
Miss Chanel, you look wonderful.
Thank you, so do you.
Welcome back. I know this is your second time here, and we're going to do things a little different, and we're really going to look into how you got so far.
Okay, sounds lovely.
So, Miss Chanel, I heard your life isn't as glamorous as it is today. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. Ever since I was a little girl, my mother and my father raised me, but then my mother passed away, so my father took it upon himself to send me to an orphanage because he felt as though he wouldn't be able to raise me on his own, being just a single father. So when I was there, the people of the orphanage really impacted my life. They taught me all the things I needed to know to become a successful designer. They taught me how to sew, and that was really what made me think and know that I will be able to make clothing.
So it really what pursued you to becoming a fashion designer.
Them teaching me how to sew really opened my eyes.
So besides them, who else would you say impacted your life and was really a big part of your life?
Well, actually, I was involved with a guy named Eten Balson. He was basically the man that got my business going. If it wasn't for him, I really don't know where I would be today. I actually begun creating hats. That was my first big thing, was I wanted to create hats.
And I heard you were making hats before then.
Yeah, I just always wanted to make something that was fun and something stylish that I wanted.
Something that described you.
Yeah, so I made hats, and I told him about this idea because I was getting so many compliments on them on the streets, everyone telling me how much they liked them. So I told him about this, and he actually helped me start a business for these hats, which I soon became.
So that was kind of the beginning into you getting into the fashion world.
Yeah, basically.
Okay, so Eten was one of your first men of your life, and was there any other men who really was a part of it?
Well, after Eten, I was involved with another man named Arthur Capel. I don't really like to, talk about it, but
take your time.
I was involved with a very special man, and while we were together, he actually passed away. And although I fell into a great depression for this man I loved, it really helped me in the long run, because with his passing, I didn't know what to do with myself. I didn't know what I was living for anymore. So I really focused all of myself into working. So it entirely into my into my work.
So he motivated you to becoming a better designer.
Yeah.
Okay, so your collection grew as did your customers because of Arthur, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I see that those two men impacted your life positively, and were there any men that made your career worse?
Yes. Well, actually, the whole 1930s really affected my life for the worst. In the 1930s was during the Depression for everyone, for all businesses. People weren't going to be getting the sales that they were getting beforehand because people were going to go out and buy clothes, because that wasn't the first thing that was on their mind. So closing down my business was a really big deal for me, because I didn't know that.
Because that's what you did, that was your life. That's what your life revolved around.
And I didn't know if, when all this was over, if I would be able to open it back up as it was before. I don't know if it would be running the same way it was. So, it
was just hard.
Yeah.
I also heard, well, a lot of people have heard that during that time you became involved with Hans Gustner. And how did he really impact your life? Because I know it wasn't easy, and a lot of tabloids were saying a lot of things that weren't always true. You can't always believe what they say. So, I think for the sake of everybody, what really did happen between you guys?
Well, it's hard to talk about, but not going into a lot of detail. Basically, me and him, we were involved with each other, but I don't know. It's just so hard because he caused so much damage to my life.
Yeah.
So much bad stories about me came from him.
So the public opinion of you changed because of him.
Yeah. Just everything. Him being a Nazi officer during all of this time
and you
of war.
Being French really changed, how the French people viewed you.
Yeah. Basically, I was sleeping with the enemy.
Okay.
They just felt like I was betraying the country, and that wasn't looked upon as good. So, obviously, I got a lot of slack for that, and I'm not proud of what I did. I don't regret what I did, but I'm definitely not proud of it.
Yeah. Well, in order to be, someone as successful as you, one must have goes through downfalls all the time. So, I mean, it is normal. So, what would you say was a time that really marked your career?
Well, during the 1920s, 1925s, that really was, the rising of my whole career.
Okay.
This was back before any of this controversy happened. This was, like, when I was really doing well.
Okay, so this is really after Arthur had passed away.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was the rise. During the 1920s was when I launched my first perfume, Chanel No. 5.
I'm actually wearing it right now.
Nice. Yeah, that was really the first time any designer was able to put their perfume on the market.
Did you, what designs did you invent following your perfume?
Well, in 1925, I introduced the Chanel suit.
Okay.
With a collarless jacket. I invented the well-fitted skirt.
Okay.
And I invented the little black dress and costume jewelry. Basically, all of this was what I felt was, good things to come out with for women of our time, since they were never introduced to anything like this.
So it was something new for women and a lot of them too.
Yeah, because men were had all these privileges to different type of clothing.
Yeah.
Women were so they had to follow just like a corset. They had to follow just a fitted skirt, just things that weren't
exactly.
Yeah.
Michelle, I must say that I have to thank you, because if it weren't for you, I'll be sitting here with a corset, really uncomfortable. And, you not only changed women's fashion, but you really did change women's lives forever.
Yeah, I always really enjoyed sports, whether it was tennis or riding, and the outfits just simply would not allow me to keep up with the boys. I felt like the boys were able to be free. They were able to move in ways that just women couldn't, because we were just in uncomfortable attire, and it was too restricting, too tight, and too much fabric. In sports, you can't, do the things you want to do when you're wearing things that are too tight and uncomfortable. You need to be free. You need to be able to,
Okay, so making the clothes that you designed made you be more comfortable with doing the sports that you've done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, I just always wanted to be comfortable. And I would see women, and they wouldn't be comfortable. Men's clothing is just so simple of a line and fluid with their emotions. And I just wanted to be able to wear what I wanted to wear. That is what,
Okay, so that's really influenced you to, designing the clothes that you wanted to design, because women weren't comfortable with what they were wearing. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that is what influenced my early pieces, and the general ideas remain throughout all my collection.
Alright, so to wrap it all up, Miss Chanel, what advice would you give to women into picking an outfit?
Basically, all women need to know that your clothes should not define who you are as a person. They should give an insight into your personality. Women should feel comfortable within themselves, and they should be able to have a variety of different clothing to wear. When picking an outfit, you should always remember simplicity is extremely elegant.
So that's like your model for women too.
Yes. Women should always remember that being the most simple is definitely the most elegant.
Goes a long way, you know.
Yeah.
If you put, might look tacky and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so on behalf of all the women in the world, you know, a big thanks to you and all your ideas, making it possible for women to have the ability to express, you know, the art of feminism. It really is an honor to have you sit here today and tell your story to everyone and see how, you know, you literally came from nothing, put in an orphanage, and rose to fame and have become so successful. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.